For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Colquitt, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, a returning special guest. We have Jenny Colquitt. How's it going today, Jenny?
I'm great. How you doing, Tom? Things have been very busy. I know
It's kind of funny when I think you were streaming last Sunday and you were talking about all these different things you had going on. I'm like, maybe I should reach out to her and make sure she doesn't need to reschedule or something, because from the sounds of it, she doesn't have but 2 minutes free.
Well, to be fair, I was going to message you only because I had a Patreon. Do you have a Patreon? You have a Patreon?
I know Patreon, but I'm not on your Patreon yet.
Okay. Well, I had a Patreon. Like we have like a Zoom thing every month.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and do it at like the same time.
Uh-huh.
So, and there's like, obviously there's a big Everton match on today. So everyone's like, not Everton, a cup final match on today.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure it was kind of, I could do that. And then, but when you messaged me, it was like, basically, if you hadn't rescheduled this, it would have been like 2 minutes in between the two. So it's kind of, thank you for that. I don't
not a problem. It was actually kind of funny because, so usually I have it set up to where every Saturday at like 9 a.m. Central, that's when I podcast. It's like early enough that it's not too early for a lot of people, but it's just like that right time, because usually I'm up by, like, even if I'm trying to sleep in, I'm up by 8:30. Like that's just the kind of person I am. I'm usually up at 8:30, even if I'm trying to sleep in. And so like 9 o'clock just makes sense. And then you said, can we push it an hour? And I'm like, man, I'm not going to know what to do with all this extra time I have in the morning now. And so that was an interesting adventure this morning. So
well, good morning. I'm sorry, I'm being ignorant. I'm forgetting that it's actually early for you.
It's 100% fine. I've already been to the grocery store. It was like, I've got an hour. I can go to the grocery store before this. Awesome. Now I don't have to fight everybody trying to get, food and whatnot. So
it's great because I've met so many people from the States recently. Mm-hmm. I kind of almost feel like we're like, because a lot of people come on my streams and it's almost like it's the same time everywhere. So I have to really remind myself that people are in different frames of mind in the day, and people have like only just woke up, or it's like, really late depending on where they are. So it's my mindset towards that whole thing is just like shifted in the last kind of year since streaming on Twitch.
Actually, I'm kind of in that same boat because like my day runs on like an 18-hour shift where it's like, okay, if I need to talk to somebody in the UK, I have to make sure I'm up by a certain time if I want to catch them in the morning. And then for anybody that like I work with in New Zealand or Australia, it's like, all right, well, I mean, I can maybe catch them in the afternoon, but most likely it's going to be later at night before I can catch any of them. So
that's dedication.
That's all good though. But I do want to thank you for jumping on here. I know you got busy schedule, so I was glad we were able to get you in and chatting again, because we had you on. It's been a couple of months, I think, at this point. But I'm really excited to chat with you some more. We are celebrating a very special milestone here at Live and Amplified. We were finally awarded or reached affiliate on Twitch, which was a big thing, and we hit it 21 days before our goal. So that's good. So the goal was my birthday. My birthday is May 31st. So I'm
nice
glad.
One.
So now I had to add on a new thing, and that's to get 150 followers. So if you aren't following us, please give us a follow. We'd really appreciate that.
That means you guys can subscribe to Tom's stream.
Yes. I haven't gotten that far to set it up to make it a cool, amazing thing yet, but I was literally sitting there Tuesday or whatever it was when I got the little notification, and I was like, oh, maybe I should start looking into this. And I was like, wait, I can do emotes? I'm not ready for this yet. So
yeah, I was exactly the same when I got affiliate. I was like, because I think you jump into Twitch like completely in a different mindset, but people on Twitch know Twitch, and they're like, you need a mod, you need emotes,
Yeah.
You know, if you've not got those, you're not, you know, whatever it is. And yeah, I remember the whole process myself. So I feel for you. I feel for you. I know it. I know what it's like.
Thanks for the sub, John. I appreciate you to no end. And I'm going to do my best to keep the podcast consistent. And we're doing some amazing things. We got some musicians coming through that'll be, we'll be doing like a live jam session type thing. So even though we're a music podcast, we're going to try and bring in some music as well. That's been a situation we've been trying to do. So we're getting there. But so how have things been going for you, Jenny? I know you've been super busy. You've got a lot of shows coming up, and actually, kind of fun fact, you are you playing support, or is Jess Jacoy playing support for you?
Oh no, I'm supporting Jess. Yeah,
okay, Jess. You're supporting Jess. We have her coming on the podcast tomorrow.
Oh, that's so cool.
So when I saw that on her schedule, I was like, oh, that's funny how it all kind of collides. I've known Jess since about 2019, so that's really cool. So,
yeah. So her booking agent manager contacted me, asking me to do a few dates in you know, on a UK tour, first time over here tour. So yeah, I was like, I jumped at the opportunity. I've got so many gigs in different places, and you have to be careful with what clashes in different venues and things like that. But yeah, I took the opportunity, and yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet Jess, because she's coming over, as you say, from Nashville, which is really cool in itself.
Funny story about her. I met her randomly on Facebook because we were planning a trip to Nashville, and I wanted to do like an acoustic jam session thing with her. We used to do like live acoustic sessions before the pandemic. And I reached out to her. We were going to try and do something. And then she got on this show called American Songland, which was I used the phrase big, but I don't know how big the show actually was, because I only saw like 2 or 3 episodes ever. But it was basically for like original songwriters. They'd come in, perform an original song in front of a bunch of judges, and then they'd select like the 2 that they liked, and then they would move on. So she got selected to be on that. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna hear from her again. Like, she's gonna be a big superstar, and you know, she's gonna be on her way. And then I reached out to her like a couple of months later, because we were gonna go to Nashville in January of 2020, and she's like, yeah, I'd love to do something. And I was like, oh, cool. I was afraid to reach out to you because I thought you were going to be just like on and off to the next big thing. And she was like, nope, definitely interested. I'm like, sweet. I'm into it.
Jess seems, I've not obviously met Jess yet, but we've messaged on Instagram and things like that. And she seems so sweet. I'm really excited to be supporting her on a, like I say, first time into the UK. And yeah, it's going to be really cool. We've got some really cool venues actually over here. The ones that I'm supporting her at are the 45 Vinyl Cafe in York and a place called Chapel Arts Centre in Bath. And both of those venues I've wanted to play for a while. So
nice. Awesome.
Thanks, Jess.
Awesome. I'm still waiting for that moment that I can come over to the UK. It's going to be next year. I keep saying next year, but that's just like the default response or the default answer to myself.
It's a good response. Always that next step, you know.
For sure. Also, once again, John, thanks for the gifted sub to Jenny. I really appreciate that.
I was literally about to subscribe. I was literally about to do it, but I thought I'll try and do it quickly so we can't see me.
You know, it's one of these things where it's like, now I've got a whole new thing that I got to watch out for. Like before it was like, I could just focus on the interview. Now I got to like actually watch the chat, and it's just like, oh, dang. But it's fun. It's exciting. So
the whole game itself.
I know you got a new song dropping here in less than a week. Yeah, less than a week. Tell us about the song. What do you got going on?
Was that on the? Oh yes, it is less than a week. Wow.
Oh, did I just scare? Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
No. You've not scared me at all. No. It's a song called God the Father. It is technically already. It's on my album already. So people have probably heard it already. But yeah, I'm releasing it as a single to kind of. It was my favorite song on the album. I really wanted to kind of give it that special moment it deserved. You know, I've got a music video and all that coming out on the 20th as well. So yeah, it's called God the Father, and it was a track that I basically recorded live in the studio. We added some cello and things afterwards, you know, some post-production things, but yeah, it was a special moment because we didn't intend at all to have any live tracks on the album. But when we were in the studio, I was really trying to get the song as authentic as I could by, to a tempo and, tracks and all that kind of stuff. It just wasn't working because the song is so stripped back and emotive, and it takes its own kind of journey as the song goes on, and it just felt really natural for us to kind of try and do it live. So we did, and I think for that reason, I mean, the song was one of my favorites anyway, but more so because of that now, because it's got that little special place, I think, on the album where it's like captured a moment, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
So on the album, it's live, but the re-release, will it be in studio? It's in studio, or is it still?
It's live? Exactly the same. It's the same track. We're just releasing it with a music video and giving it like some push to radio and things like that. But yeah, so you can hear the track already, but we're re-releasing it kind of as a single.
Gotcha. That's cool. That's awesome. That's how's the response been to it? Obviously, the response has to have been pretty decent if you're looking to re-release it with a music video.
Yeah.
What kind of went into the process behind the music video? How long have you been working on this one?
So yeah, funny story with the music video. So when I recorded the Something Beautiful music video, there's some scenes where it's like piano. I'm sat at a Steinway piano and playing, Something Beautiful. And while I was there, I was like, it just feels so natural right now to be singing this song, because the song, it's called God the Father, but it's not about being religious, and it wasn't supposed to be, set in a church or anything like that, because it's not. In fact, it's almost the opposite of that. It's about being spiritual and being at one with your own decisions and kind of spirituality and who you are as a person, and following your own guidance, but also with this belief, in goodness. But yeah, not necessarily in a structured kind of church setting. So I was like at the piano and I was like, I want to just perform this now. So I asked the guys and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So we put together the God the Father music video on the spot there and then. And then I edited it. And then they graded it. So it was kind of like a combination between me and Red Visuals, who do my music videos. So that in a way, it's kind of special for that as well, because I kind of edited the video as myself. And yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful. I can't wait for people to hear it.
Awesome. What I think is kind of interesting is that you did the song live, and I'm going to say a little bit more stripped back as far as the performance, and the song touches on, yet even though it wasn't intent to be a religious song, but it kind of strips back religion into its most basic form and not so structured, which I think is kind of an interesting parallel that maybe was intended, maybe it wasn't. Not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wasn't really intended in that way, but I feel like the whole thing was just so natural. It kind of just worked, and yeah, like I didn't think about anything. I didn't think about it when I wrote the song, what I was writing about. It was just, this is what I believe, and this is everything that I represent. I don't feel like I need to be told something by a religious structure or a religious set of beliefs in order to kind of follow my own heart, if that makes sense. So the whole thing is just natural, and the whole thing just worked out really naturally, and I'm really, really excited to be able to push it and give it the platform in a way that it deserves. And it's had some really great reviews, and people listen to it, and great radio play so far. And I'm really excited about that, because like I say, it's a piece of me. All of the songs are a piece of me, but this one was the most, I guess, truthful, because it's like the lyrics are like, I know you got the Father and you hold me so close, but I can't erase the paintings from the walls in my home. It's about, I can't believe something that I'm supposed to believe, but I still have that faith. And I think it's quite, sometimes people would find it quite almost awkward and difficult to kind of portray that side of themselves, admit that I don't necessarily believe in God, or I don't believe in this being, but I believe in everything that it kind of comes with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You believe in the concept of what God represents, but not that there's an actual physical God sitting up there playing Chef Boyardee with our lives.
Yeah, I believe in just being a good person, basically. And I think that's my belief. And if that's something that you follow, then I think you're awesome. And yeah, That's basically it. But without, like you say, this structured sort of, don't have to read it in a book.
Awesome. You changed my entire, because when I saw the name of the song, I was like, dang it, I didn't realize, like, I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a religious song, so I haven't had a chance to listen to it off the album. And then now just listening to you, it's like, oh, you just flipped everything upside down on me. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I think it's done that to quite a few people, actually. I think we're running an ad. I think a few people have, I've had a few comments like people, like, I don't really listen to Christian music and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's not about that. It's almost the opposite. Again, it's not an anti-religious song in any way. I think if you believe in God and that's your belief, and I think that's fantastic. I think it's amazing, and I'm almost jealous of that. And it's not in any way to sort of say, I don't think that your beliefs are you shouldn't believe in that or anything. It's just that this is my belief. This is who I am, and basically.
Like, I definitely agree with you. Like, I think there's a place for religion, and like we're breaking our cardinal sin here as Live and Amplified. No religion, no politics, but you know what? Screw it, we're in it. Like, I definitely think there's a place for organized religion, and it's helped save a lot of people's lives and all that stuff. But yes, I tend to agree with you that good people are good people no matter what.
Exactly. So, I just believe in peace and love.
Yep. 100%. Yep. But just real quick, once again, thank you for everybody that's been hanging out with us. Thank you, Diane, for subbing. We really appreciate you. Also, if anybody has any questions for Jenny, feel free. I'm trying to be better about answering viewers' questions and stuff like that. So I will do my best to get the questions in there as I see them. So feel free to ask questions away, and we'll do our best to get answered. So you've got the new single, re-release single dropping on Friday with the music video. Music video has been a whole process, I'm sure, with COVID, kind of in lockdown, not in lockdown. What's it been like in the UK for the last, like, at least this year? Have you pretty much been out of lockdown?
Yeah, it's pretty much. We don't really have any structured sort of rules other than like in NHS settings and health settings. But yeah, from my experience of it, from my point of view, it's been pretty much back to normal.
Gotcha. Okay. I know in like other countries, like they've never left lockdown, so I don't know. I have to ask anymore. So producing the music video hasn't been that big of an issue?
Well, no, because I mean, we at the time when we did the music video, we did have to like wear masks and things and do all of the usual thing. We had to do a test to get into the venue, but that was quite a while ago now. So it's, it wasn't really too much of an issue.
So you did it. When did you shoot the music video? Was it earlier this year or was it into last year? It
was last year. It would have been. So I released Something Beautiful music video in October. So it would have been like September time.
Gotcha. Cool. So you got that coming. What else do you have in the works? Obviously a bunch of shows. Are you working on another? I hear bits and pieces in your Twitch streams that you're like always seem to be working on something. Where are you kind of at creatively right now?
Yeah, so the plan this year is to release a few singles this year. I'm not sure exactly of how many. So we've got the God the Father one coming out, like you say, on Friday, which is kind of scary. And then in July, hopefully early July, we'll have a song out called Soldier of the Modern Day, which has become a bit of a favorite among the JC streamies, we call ourselves. So that'll be out in July, and a music video probably a few weeks after that. And then we have another single coming out at least. I'm not sure if it's going to be 2 singles after that. It's not going to be a really heavy releasing year. Like you say, because I've got so many shows, I'm basically on tour the whole year. and not just local to me, I'm kind of traveling the whole country. And like I'm in London next week at Green Note. So I'm kind of back into in different places. So yeah, it's busy. It's a busy time for me. So I'm not really I don't want to kind of stress myself out with trying to get too much out there. I've got time. I am going to be releasing, but it's not going to be like last year. I released, I think, 25 songs, including including the album, because I had the band stuff as well. We've got some band releases coming out this year as well. hopefully culminating into an EP. So yeah, there's stuff going on, but it's not nowhere near as kind of hectic as last year when it came to, I'm doing a lot of writing actually. Writing's huge. In fact, literally like 5 minutes ago, I was writing a new song. It keeps happening where like when I'm waiting to do a stream, I'm like obviously just sort of sat here waiting, playing my guitar. And the other day I kind of wrote a song and played it on the stream. Creativity is just like its peak right now.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. It gets you prepared. And then when you're writing, are you just like writing in general? And then once you kind of get the idea down, you'll figure out if it's more of a solo thing or if it's a band thing, or how does that kind of break out?
Pretty much that. Yeah. I mean, it tends to be, I'll write a song. Sometimes I will sit down and go, right, okay, I'm writing a band song now. But the whole process tends to be quite natural. It'll be like, oh, okay, this is a band song because it just naturally feels like a band song, or it feels like it needs, it tends to be like, do I need like guitar solos on it? And then it'll transpire to be a band song, or it'll be the other way around where it's like, oh no, okay, this is definitely more of a solo piece. But yeah, the decision can come at either point, either before the writing process or kind of after it. But yeah, it's interesting. That in itself it's like learning two languages.
Yeah, it's interesting because I keep going back to what you said a little bit ago, that this year is not nearly as hectic as last year was, and seeing you do, what is it, 3 streams a week plus your solo work plus your band work, shows, releasing. I'm kind of concerned what last year looked like. Last
year was borderline insane. I mean, this year's getting there though. There's a lot more traveling this year than last year, but last year was about a lot more kind of PR stuff, more interviews, I guess. There was obviously I was actually recording an album, which in itself is huge. This year I don't have quite as much of that going on, but there's more kind of traveling. In a way, it's kind of similarly hectic, but just in different ways. I have more time to kind of think a little bit this year, which is cool. Last year it was like, okay, I need this done by this deadline. I'm refusing to do that to myself this year, because last year was towards the end of the album, it got really stressful. You probably have a lot of people tell you this kind of stuff, but towards the end of the album, I was losing myself. I was like, I need this done before this date. I was kind of ordering merch. This thing was like incredibly difficult. The lyric book of my album.
Oh, really?
This took like 3 months. And then I had like I have like a booklet kind of brochure about the album, behind the scenes thing. And that took so long, just, it was mental. There's not quite as much of that kind of stuff going on this year. Was that booklet to try and make a throwback homage to like old vinyl days? Was that kind of what you were going? Because I don't see a lot of musicians putting booklets in CDs anymore. Usually it's just like I don't want to say cheap, but like the folder ones where, I'm all about the CDs and the merch. I love it. I love when I'm at a gig, people come up and they, even like the set lists, people love the set lists and they love the little bits of me, I guess. Like the guitar strap that I snapped the other week, people want things like that. And I love all of that, especially the lyrics and things like that, because people don't always know what my lyrics are, or like exactly what I'm saying. And I think that's probably the same for a lot of artists. But yeah, I wanted to put that in there, especially for the album. Whether I'll do that for EPs and things like that is a different thing, because it's very, very stressful. For sure. But I do love stuff like that.
Yeah. One thing that I've really been into, and I've tried to find more of it, but it's really hard, is like musicians. They're not lyric sheets, but like when they're working out the song, just like their notes or their like, they call it lyric sheets, but for me, it's like, no, this is just kind of for like a 1 page for a song where you've got like, oh, this doesn't work, you cross it out, and then you got like your chorus here, your verse here, and then like another chord. So I guess maybe it is a lyric sheet, but it's like a lyric notes, I guess.
Yeah, it's the creation process. I did have a booklet. In fact, most of the album is written in like a book. I don't know where that is actually. I hope I've not lost that. It's somewhere. I just don't know where. But at the minute, a lot of it is kind of on my phone. That's a note. But like I write songs like just on like notes on my phone, because then they transfer to my computer. So say I'm writing, I've got my phone, I'll write some lyrics out and I'll like probably record a melody. And then I'll come over to my laptop and it's all on there because it's a iPhone. So it's like Apple. So it just links straight in. So I'm like, great. I can load up the notes and finish it off while I'm kind of recording like a mini demo for it. So it tends to work really well for me like that.
Yeah. It's I love how that's all set up because I do the exact same thing where I'll be at work or something. I'll be like, oh, that would be a good idea for Live and Amplified. Hold on a minute. And then I'll write it in my little notes section. And then I'm very bad about shutting my computer down for any given amount of time. And I always seem to have my notes section up. So when I come home from work, that whatever that last note I put in there is sitting right in front of me. And it's like 8 hours later and it's like, cool, you know, it's right there. So it's, I definitely love how that's set up.
Yeah. I'm just checking the chat. The chat is on this screen for me today, guys. If I'm looking over there, I'm not being rude. I'm just checking that I've not missed anything.
I've found out that like the way I have things set up is a little goofy, but eventually I'll get it straight. Like I have like the stream manager thing open, and that doesn't seem to be as accurate as if I just had like a second account set up and had a stream over there. If like for whatever reason that one's a little bit more accurate as far as like real time people commenting and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, this feels really weird. I have it right in front of me, but it's not as accurate. So
that's crazy. Yeah. Because I use like the creator dashboard one and then I pop out the chat so I can have it there. But obviously, because it's not my Twitch channel, I can't bring it over the screen today. But yeah, that's interesting. You'll get there though with that again, that's its own, when you first start on Twitch, that's its own kettle of fish trying to bring it into how you like it. And, you know,
it's my hope is one day to get off of Zoom, and like I'm trying to figure out a way to because like right now looking at the chat or at the stream itself, it's very just plain with the two screens, which is fine for right now, like, but I'm trying to figure out a way to either route something into OBS and I can just run it through OBS and it'll be cool.
Yeah.
And so that way I can have all the cool fancy bells and whistles and alerts and all that stuff. But as of right now, I can't really do it via Zoom. So
you could use StreamYard. I think a lot of people who have podcasts on here, they use StreamYard, which is, I think it's free actually, StreamYard. So that's a potential one. Then that works with OBS quite well as well.
I will have to look.
If DC was here, he'll be able to tell you exactly how to do that.
Okay. I will look into StreamYard. Like, I mean, Zoom isn't overly expensive, but like that $15 a month it's just a little extra thing that I have to pay every month. And it's
it does work out quite expensive in the end.
Yeah. So let's talk about Twitch a little bit, since you're one of the many people that talked me into taking Twitch very seriously early on during this earlier part of the year. How long have you been Twitch streaming?
Just over a year. In fact, wow, nearly 18 months probably now. I started the 4th of January, 2020. Oh no, 2021.
I would say 2020. You've been streaming for 2 years, 2.5 years almost. But
yeah, so it'd be like a year and a half basically.
Awesome. And you did it middle of the pandemic just to get start doing shows, or what was the original thought behind doing it?
Yeah, so if you want me to tell you the full story of it, it won't take long, I promise.
Okay, go for it.
I used to host in real life open mic nights, and I did that every week for like years and years and years. And then obviously when the pandemic hit, I wanted to still give people that bit of, you know, when we call it Wednesday, Welly Wednesdays, because that's the place where I used to play it. So I'd done like a Wednesday stream on YouTube, or I think it was Facebook actually at the time. I can't remember if it was Facebook and YouTube or it was Facebook. And then I don't know if it was like, I think I was on there for like a year, built up like a really solid group of people who watched me like every week. I think it did like a couple of streams a week. We did loads of charity streams. And then a few people, I can't remember exactly why I came over to Twitch, but somebody mentioned about coming over to Twitch. And so instead of dropping the Facebook and YouTube streams, I went over to Twitch and did, I think, 2 streams a week at first. I can't remember exactly. And then I kind of just now I've built it to where I'm streaming on both. I do like once. I try and do Facebook and YouTube at least once a week, but it's just not working out just because I'm so busy. I tend to have to like drop one of the streams, and that tends to be the one that goes. The Twitch is a little bit more. If you don't stream on Twitch as regularly, you'll lose the following a little bit more. Whereas on Facebook, YouTube, I always know the people who are always gonna be there. But you probably already know that with Twitch.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and actually, YouTube's how I found you originally. Like middle of last year, I was bored, middle of the pandemic. I might have been down in Florida looking after my mom while she was dealing with all her health issues, and I was looking for cover songs of I can't remember who it was.
Was it like Eva Castillo or Fleetwood Mac or someone like that?
It was probably like Fleetwood Mac. Like I was looking, there was one song that I was listening to on iTunes, and I was like, I've never heard anybody cover this song. And I started looking, and then you popped up for a completely different song.
Yeah, that works. There's been a few people who've told me that exact story of how I've kind of shown up in the side section.
Yeah. And so I started watching it, and then I think you just happened to be live streaming on YouTube at that moment. And so I was watching the video, and I went over to look out the channel a little bit more, and I was gonna subscribe and all that stuff. And you were actually live streaming, and I jumped in, and I was just sitting there. I was like, wow, this is really cool. And so I subscribed, and whenever I could catch your live streams on YouTube, I was like, okay, cool. And one day I was like, man, I really should reach out to her and see if she wants to do a podcast. Cause I was like in the middle of like really heavy podcasting. We were building and growing and all this craziness. And I don't think I ever reached out to you. No, I think I got a little, whatever it was, maybe it was like when my mom passed, and then I just kind of forgot a lot of stuff. And then somebody reached out to me about having you on. Who would that have been, though? I don't remember who it would have been, though.
I mean, I've been through a few different PR people. So I'm not sure exactly. Possibly Linda. I'm not sure. But somebody reached out to me about 3-4 months ago to have you on, and I was like, okay, cool. I actually know who you are, so this will be fun and exciting. So that's such a cool story. And now you're a massive Everton fan.
Yes I am. I am so much so.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Guys.
It was so funny though, because I was originally going to buy one from the Everton page because they had the blue one that I wanted the blue shirt. And I was like, okay, cool. But I started checking out, and they're like, it's going to be like 3 weeks or something before it gets to you. And I'm like, oh man, that's not good. And so I went to Amazon, and they're like, it'll be 2 days. We'll have one to you. But all they had was the white one in my size. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. It's like, I like the alternate jersey or the alternate shirts, or what do they call it? Third, whatever it is. But
we have home, away, and like third kit. And then you have all the training kits and things as well.
Yeah. So I saw that, and I was like, all right, that'll work. And then my cousin's husband was like, boy, you're just a glutton for punishment, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, no, actually, I think we're on the way back up now, Tom. I think hi, big snack for you. Hi there. I think we're on the way. I think we're on the way back. We're not going to get relegated. I promise. You.
It's funny because when I sent you the photo of the shirt, was at Tuesday or whatever when Everton had that game, I was like, man, I hope I can see the game. And I forgot my job doesn't allow you to stream anything while you're on the work Wi-Fi. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, come on, let me just watch this game. That's all I want to do. I promise you I will continue working. And Abe was just like, nope, it's not going to let you. And I'm like, dang it.
Darn it.
It happens.
I was actually in a hotel. I think it was Thursday. Was it Wednesday? Or was it Thursday? No,
it was it had to have been. Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday. So I was actually in a hotel because I was playing a show down in Brighton. And then I got your message, and luckily we took our Now TV stick things and watch it in the hotel, and it actually worked 100% better than it does at home, which was so cool.
That's awesome.
It wasn't the best match, but whatever.
And I actually saw on their schedule that in July, Everton will be in the States playing a match against one of our Major League Soccer teams. Unfortunately, they're on the other side of the country. So it's just like, that's going to be a bit of a trip if I want to go. But, you know.
Might have more, though, because they tend to do preseason in the States. Okay. I don't know why. They might probably schedule more in. I think there's only one match scheduled at the minute, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, it's against Minnesota. And I know in Texas, where I'm at, we got 3 teams, I think, at this point. I think Houston has a team. I think Dallas has a team. And if Austin doesn't, they're in the process of getting a team. Like they're working on getting a team, which is great for the sport of soccer in general. Like the fact that the US is like building up their league and trying to make it something that people want to see is really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great game. It is a great game. And I think it would be an asset to the States a little bit more. It's great what they do for women in football in America. I absolutely love it. And in fact, it was that got me back into football. I was playing football a couple of years ago, after a big hiatus from playing. And it was watching the American teams play because it's so huge in America for women. Not so much for men, more for women.
Actually, so kind of an interesting story. I think it was about 5 years ago at this point, I was actually in the process of I was in the final stages of going to work for the OL Reign, which is the women's team in Seattle. And this was the time that they had like Hope Solo and what's the one big superstar from the women's team, the women's national team?
Alex Morgan.
No, Megan Rapinoe.
Oh yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah, she was on the team, and it was just like, oh, that'd be really cool because like I knew who the two of them were, and I was just like, cool, that'd be fun. And then they ended up going somewhere else, and I was like, that's fair. Like the idea of moving me from where I was at the time in New Mexico all the way up to Seattle, that would have been a trip. So
yeah,
it would have been exciting though. So, but yeah, so it's you've got a busy schedule. As I've said it a million times, you get the new single dropping on Friday. Do you have a release show, stream, anything for that planned, or?
It's kind of tricky because I'm in London actually. I'm in London on Thursday and Friday, so I'll be traveling back Friday. So I don't know if I'm going to be home in time. In fact, I probably will be home in time. So I'll probably do a stream. I'm not sure where yet. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be doing a stream. But I don't want to kind of guarantee that just yet.
You don't, I gotcha. Are you? What are you doing in London? Are you playing a show, or are you going down there to record, or what's going on?
I've got a show at Green Note, which is a really cool venue in Camden. It's one of the, like, if you were to think of like a typical venue in London with like the red curtain and small, really intimate. So I'm supporting a lady called Abby Farrell, which is super exciting. She's got an absolutely amazing voice. Check her out, Abby Farrell, ABI, and then Farrell is FARRELL.
Okay.
She's so good. Kind of like, I don't really want to kind of pigeonhole, but I'm going to say like kind of soul-y jazz kind of singer. Incredible range, incredible singer. And she's on the same roster as me at Talent Bank. And so we're doing a show together. So I'm the support for that gig. But I'm not going to say too much just yet, but I might have another show down in the same venue later on in the same year.
Nice. I like how cryptic you're being.
I have to be.
Well, in this day and age, it's like you don't know what's going to fall through. Obviously, like COVID's not a huge issue, but it's still a potential issue where if a nice little outbreak happens in any little pocket in the country or the world, that it could shut things down again. So
yeah, and also like when you've got shows coming up and you don't want to kind of advertise a show before another show, and especially if it's the same venue.
Yeah, for sure.
It has to be really good.
So you primarily playing in the, I had somebody try and break this down to me, in the UK, right?
I'm pretty much playing in the UK, or all of the UK.
Okay. I'm trying to become more or become smarter about the layout because had somebody else from London on the podcast a few months ago, and her mom reached out to me and sent me this little map to break down the difference of the UK, Great Britain, London, UK, and like just how it all kind of breaks out. And I'm like,
well, to make it easy for you, all of my gigs are in England.
England, cool.
Which is a country in the UK.
Okay. Cool.
And London is the capital of England.
That's why I always say the UK, just because it's like,
yeah,
it's a nice fail safe. I don't usually say like because Great Britain's like everything, or is it UK everything, like North Ireland, Ireland, Scotland.
So the difference is the island thing. So
okay.
Southern Ireland. But yeah, we'll just say England.
Okay.
That's easy.
Cool. We'll work with it. I'm trying so hard. I apologize, everybody. I'm really
you don't
trying.
honestly. You really do not have to apologize for that. Like, honestly.
Well, I feel bad because my grandfather's. Well, I mean, that's so far removed from my generation. Like, my relatives, like my grandpa's English, so it's like that's so far removed, though. So, but. Yeah. So what I want to do, I don't know if we did this last time, but I've got a random question generator. Did we do the random question generator?
I feel like we did. We did.
Well, this time it's going to be just rapid fire. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Awesome.
And we're going to go for it. You ready?
I think so.
All right. What stereotype do you break?
Probably, I would say occupational in the sense that I kind of do whatever I want.
Gotcha. What is, I don't know how you're going to answer this one, but actually, you know what? I'm going to reword it a little bit just so it makes sense. What is one gift you would want from the person closest to you?
Selflessness.
Would you rather be the first person to explore a planet or be the inventor of a drug that cures a deadly disease?
The inventor of a drug that cures a deadly disease.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised you didn't say explore a planet given the photo sitting right behind you of the moon.
I know, actually. I'm obsessed with the moon. I'm obsessed with space.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, I guess weirdly, because I said selflessness on the last one, you would think I probably would say something that gives me glory in that sense. But yeah, I'm gonna say I want to help people.
Okay, that's fair. It was just interesting because I was like, I think it was your last stream where you brought out the picture, and I was like, oh, that's funny.
This is my picture of like to remind me to dream, dream big, because it's like it's just this like little character that's staring at the moon, and I don't know, it's so symbolic of, and I have in fact I'm going to show you. I've not showed anyone this yet. Sorry, there's things on it.
That's all good.
So I have a similar thing. I have this clock, which like it kind of looks kiddie, doesn't it? It kind of looks like something you find in a kid's bedroom, but it's like a little rabbit, which is like a little insignificant being looking at the moon. And nice. I have lots of theories about how we are so small in this huge giant universe, and that's going up something. I've been meaning to put that up for like so long.
I was sitting there looking at it to make sure it was actually working, to make sure that time was correct.
I don't know if it is. Is it?
It is. It's pretty close. It's only off by like a minute or two.
Yeah. We should leave it there now to remind everyone.
Yes, for sure. That's funny though. And then you inherit your own island. What do you name it?
Oh, that's really hard.
The random question generator.
What do I name an island? It's got to be something that sounds like something that you'd find in IKEA. Like, I don't know, like Reiku or something like weird like that. Just something really original and new. Reiku. I'm going to go with Reiku because it's different.
Nice. Hey, real quick before we go to the last question. Yes, it was, John. My Everton shirt is over here. That's Jenny has converted. I was trying to get into soccer. She has converted me to an Everton fan, and I have pissed off a handful of soccer fans that are fans of Live and Amplified.
I'm pretty sure I actually just said, if I remember rightly, that you are an Everton fan. I'm pretty sure I just told you that you're an Everton fan. So it's technically me that's pissed those people off.
See, the response that John just put in the chat, that's the response I've been getting from a lot of people.
John's a Liverpool fan. He's going to say that. He should be watching the match now.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, it would have been easy for me to say, oh, I'm going to be an Arsenal fan, or I'm going to be a Chelsea fan, or a Liverpool fan, or whatever, because those are like names that everybody knows. Like when they think of soccer, it's like a handful of teams that people think of. And it's like, no, I want to go with the team that, like, I'm not going to be accused of being a bandwagon fan because.
Exactly. And underdog as well. Like the underdog, always go for the underdog because it gives you so much more entertainment, not knowing if you're going to win or not. And when you win, it's so cool, honestly.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I was sitting there watching, like the first game I watched, there's still so much about the game that I don't understand, like a bunch of subtle nuances about how like the extra time works, just like a lot of the subtle stuff that it's going to take me time to just learn. But I found myself watching Pickford, right? That's our goalie.
Yeah.
I was sitting there watching him, just how amped and excited and just like aggressive that dude is. I'm like, all right, he's just entertaining to watch by himself. So
he's the England keeper. So he's really up there in the soccer world over here.
Yeah. But yeah, just watching him, it was really entertaining. And then I didn't see the last match, but the two matches prior, just how really good he is. Like, I sound like that idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about, but I don't. So.
No, absolutely no. I've recently kind of been trying to get into American football, and I've been sounding like that idiot that hasn't got a clue what she's talking about. But no, you're right. That's what I like about Everton. They've got players like that.
Yeah, and so I'm really excited. Like, now that I know that all the matches are on Peacock, it's like, okay, cool. I can watch every match because prior to that, I was just waiting for it. Here in the States, we have a NBC or somebody has a deal where they'll play a match Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, and every once in a while it's an Everton match, and it's like, okay, that's when I can watch them. Cool. Like, I understand. And then I found out that all the matches are on Peacock, and I'm like, all right, that's even better.
I wonder if they play the matches that we have on like Sky Sports. So like that will every now and then be Everton, kind of.
I don't know, because usually it's what's the American goalie that was there for a good minute?
Tim Howard.
Yeah, he's usually one, like when they go into like halftime or whatever it is, he's usually doing like the analysis. I don't know if that's something they do over in England.
No, so it won't be the Sky Sports footage then.
But just watching those games, it's real. Even when it's like 0-0, it's like, oh, this game's entertaining regardless. So, all right. I'm going to ask you one last question off that really didn't become that rapid fire, but it is what it is.
Nothing's rapid fire with me.
It's all good. I'm 100% fine with that. If you had to relive 1 year of your life over again, what year would it be?
I probably would say, this is tricky because there's like so many ways you could answer that. But I really enjoyed last year. It was such an amazing year for me. But I mean, obviously, like, I'd love to be a little kid again and just run around and just not care. But I mean, I think I'm already like that anyway. So yeah, I'm going to say last year because it was a really special year for me.
Nice. I'd have to say probably 2020 for me because there was just some stuff that I backed out on prematurely.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking of it in like a different way. Yeah.
Like 2020 was a really good year and it was fun and it was exciting, but there was just some stuff that it was like, if I could go back and redo it, it'd be like, I wouldn't have backed out on that because that would have been a really good look.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, there's loads of things like that in my life as well.
Yeah. But anyways, so I don't want to keep you too much longer since you are very busy and you got a lot going on today and the rest of the weekend, the week, all that fun stuff. So if anybody wants to check out your music, any of your upcoming shows, just interact with you on Twitch, social media, where's the best place to get all of your infos?
So I'm mainly on Instagram. I'm on so many things. I guess if you go on my Instagram, if you go to the bio, click on the link tree, all of my links are there. You can also go to my website, jennycolquitt.co.uk. All of my shows are on there. There's not a lot of information about live streams and things like that, but you can find that on like Facebook and Instagram. Also, I'm on Discord. I don't know if you're on Discord, Tom.
Yes, I have a very inactive Discord, but yes, we are on Discord.
Yeah, it kind of starts out like that though, and then it'll grow. But yeah, Discord.
Discord was kind of funny though. Like when I first sent it out, like I sent a bunch of musicians the link, like, hey, I'm just trying to build this Discord community. And for like the first week, it was super active. We had like 20 people that were always in there chatting. And then like the weekend hit and everybody had shows. And it was like, we came back that next Monday and it was like, okay, yeah, this room's dead. No, I mean, not dead, but yeah.
I recently started a Wordle competition on my Discord. Mm-hmm. And that's made it really active, but it's pretty active at the minute, which is really cool. I feel like with Discord, you've got to be active yourself on there to really kind of pump it up a little bit. But
I just recently got into Wordle. Like it's
so cool.
I sit because originally I didn't realize that it was a like the Wordle that everybody else was playing was like a website that they went to.
Yeah, same. I did the same thing as you.
And so when everybody was talking about Wordle, I was like, okay, let me go check it out. And I downloaded the Wordle app, which is a completely different monster. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. Like the once a day, that's cool. Like if I do it in the morning while I'm trying to wake myself up, and if I go through a Wordle, like do the Wordle in the morning, it kind of helps fire off the brain and get the brain going, all that stuff, but yeah, it's been exciting.
You should join our Wordle competition. So it might be a little bit late this month, but we'll be starting a fresh one again out of June.
So what do you do? Like the most you can get, like the longest streak, or how does the competition work?
So what we do is you do the Wordle every day, copy and paste it into my Discord in the Wordle section. Mm-hmm. You have to do that to get points. Mm-hmm. And depending on how many guesses, or if it's a fail, or if you don't do it, you get like a certain amount of points. Mm-hmm. And then, the player with the most points at the end of the month wins. So you kind of, if you don't do it for a day, you're kind of not doing yourself any favors. It kind of encourages people to do it every day.
Gotcha. So it's in your favor whether you get it or not to do it every day.
Yes. Yeah. Even if you, I guess, don't have a great attempt at it, at least you've got some points on the board.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. It's because it's funny at work, like right around after the morning, like rush of work at like 11 a.m. or so, it'll be like, hey, did you get today's Wordle? Like you'll hear it across the entire office. And it's like, how quickly did you get it? And it's like, it took me 6 tries. And then somebody be like, I got it in 2. And I'm like,
John's good.
You're just crazy for getting it in 2, because it's like a word that I don't even use in my vocabulary. And it's like, I didn't know that word existed. Like, what is this?
A lot of them are American words as well. So we're at a disadvantage in the UK.
It's definitely interesting. And I didn't realize there were so many 5-letter words in the English language, which was...
there's so many times I'm like, is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a word.
Yep.
I'm like, it's okay that I didn't get that.
Yeah. But I'll have to... What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying thank you to Big Snack.
Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, June, I will have to jump into the Wordle competition, because I've been every morning just trying to knock it out. The
winner of the Wordle competition gets to control an entire stream of mine and gets to choose all of the songs. So nice. If that's not good enough.
I dig it. But once again, I do want to thank you for jumping on here. Before we leave, though, what advice do you have for the young musicians out there?
Use the down days. I think for me, more recently, I've been like having like little, not like elongated periods of time where it's like kind of difficult to get through, but like a couple of days at a time. And you have this like up and down of like, can I do this? I guess like a bit of an imposter syndrome type thing, where it's like, am I really, good enough to do this? But I would, my piece of advice, especially at the minute, would be that those days will pass, and like just use them and use them as fuel for when you're really kind of motivated to carry on.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna ready the raid here. I've been trying to be better about doing the raid. Hold on a minute. Let me get my raid call. That's a new thing I'm trying to accomplish here.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's get that raid call in the chat.
Yep. It's funny, like in the back of my head, it's like I probably should try and find a mod or something that can handle a lot of this, but it's like, nah, I don't stream consistently enough yet.
I'm sure you'll get there.
So I just threw the raid call in the chat there. I was drunk one night and I was just playing around with emotes.
I love it.
Okay.
Hungry as well.
What's that?
Were you hungry as well at the time?
I was eating Doritos. Yes.
Oh, is that? I thought that was pizza.
No, it's I think technically in the thing it's called a corn chip, but that's essentially what a Dorito is. So
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but anyways, so we're gonna go raid a guy by the name of the Goose Chase. I just recently stumbled across him. He does if I remember correctly, electric guitar, like more heavy metal rock type stuff. So we're gonna go check him out and go hang out with the Goose Chase. But Jenny, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really, really appreciate it. Can't wait to have you back on or come out to the England, UK. I'm going to just say UK because if I go out that far, I'm going to want to travel around and see as much of the country as I can and whatnot. So,
thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you, everybody. If you haven't given us a follow, please do so. I really appreciate it. We are on a mission of hitting 150 followers by May 31st, which is my birthday. And I'm working on a birthday stream. I guess that's what people do, right? Birthday streams?
I've never done it because I've always kind of been doing something else, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Gotcha. Awesome. Well, we're going to go check out the Goose Chase. And once again, Jenny, thank you so much for hanging out. And we will see you all later.
Bye, guys.
Come on. Start raid. 10 seconds.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time to do the raid.
Yeah. It's all good, though. All righty. We will see you all later. Awesome.
Yeah, we're gone.